Hello and good morning, everybody. You are back with the crew. Thanks, guys, again for sharing your quality time from your lives to spend with my family and my crew. And everybody's here. We have the threesome.
Mhm.
And Brent, how you doing this morning? Sorry, ladies first. My wonderful, lovely wife,
Yeah, how's Elizabeth
Elizabeth.
doing?
How are you doing, Elizabeth?
I'm doing great. I'm going to step just off to the side for a second to go get my Bruno.
Oh,
He's
okay.
crying. But yeah, I'm doing great. I'm doing really great considering I've been fasting since I think I talked to Brent, but I think I don't know.
Is this day 3?
No, this is day 2. And I'm feeling great.
That's good.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought it was going to feel crappy, but I feel great. But anyway, yeah. So I
Sweet.
planted a bunch of seeds. We worked on the greenhouse a little bit.
Yep.
I did some Spanish.
I changed the oils.
He's changed the oil in my car, so that was fantastic.
We did all kinds of fun stuff this
You
morning.
guys are on it, man.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did my
Y'all are
30
on it.
minutes. 30 minutes Pimsleur.
Okay.
That's it, Brent. So he's done with it. He's
So, B-Man, how are you doing this morning?
Yeah, tell us everything. He's cutting me off.
I'm doing really good. I was up late and up early doing some research for us.
Cool.
Really just diving back into kind of crypto as a whole. And I've been working on some articles for our Patreon channel that I'm really excited about. Last night was the most fun I had working on that project. So excited to share that with you guys and what I learned, which has really just been about cryptos that you all have asked about. And we want to make sure and dive into that for you and for us.
Very
Because
nice.
some of these projects, you can't keep your eye on all of them because there's so many.
No.
But the good
Awesome.
ones that we all look into, we should definitely share with each other.
Yes.
And
Definitely.
so on we go.
Excellent. Well, I'm going to get Bruno, the skunked up skunk master here,
Why don't we
and then I'll start loading up the comments.
okay.
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 If you can maybe chat amongst yourself, because then I can take
I'm
them,
going to go
We can
ahead
do that.
and address this first one.
the ISDA
Yeah.
thing. Okay.
Yep. We're going to go immediately directly into, so those people who haven't joined us yet will kind of miss out on this, but first of all, I want to say that I've read up on it as much as humanly possible. There is not a lot to read up on. The ISDA that Ripple is signed on with this week is the big news. I'm going to have many questions about it. I'm just going to go ahead and lead off with it. What I've learned, first of all, I've been reading documents. Brent and I had documents a few months ago that stated that they would be part of this entire swap system that was coming. I'm going to toot my own horn again a little bit because I did a video. I've been talking to Brent about this for 4 years about how they were going to take derivatives and they were going to put them into crypto. And this is a concept. I didn't hear anybody talk about that 4 years ago. Nobody. And I've been talking about, I did a video over a year ago about it. I just did another one about 2 weeks ago about this exact topic, which was they're going to tokenize derivatives and they're going to tokenize them so that they can make something real of something that is just fake and really vaporware, if you will. And then they're going to put them into smart contracts. And then the smart contracts are going to trade amongst themselves. And they're going to be the new financial network. And it's not going to be any longer a bot even trading. It's going to be these smart contracts trading amongst each other. And this is stuff we've been talking about on this channel for a very long time. And I'm so excited to, when news comes out and it like hits you right between the eye, exactly what you've been talking about and nobody's been talking about it. You're like, wow, I got one right. You know, like you don't get many victories in the prediction business of crypto or finances ever. And that one, I'm really proud to say that we saw this coming. every document that I read that was involved with crypto actually had Ripple and had ISDA on it. And it was amazing. They've been working on this for a very long time. Sean is in the group, and he asked me a question last night that was really cool, very related to what I'm talking about here. And that is, he said, wow, Alan, I wonder what's going on with the 1,700 NDA, non-disclosure agreements Ripple signed over the last couple of years. This is just one that's popped up, right, since the court case. And there's over 1,770 of them. So pretty amazing. Like, this is just one of nearly 2,000 that's coming. So our future is very bright. I'm really excited, but yet I am going to do more of a deep dive and more of an entailed review of the 2 shows I did about tokenizing that derivatives market. And I'm going to do that video this week. So I don't want to make this whole show about ISDA. Brent, what did you hear about it, or did you at all?
This is the first I'm hearing of that.
Oh, okay.
Very, very crazy. Yeah, it got me thinking about, on one side of it, you can capture the entire derivatives market, which is just a huge, gigantic bag of,
1 quadrillion.
Yeah, 1 quadrillion fake shit money.
Yeah.
And essentially, tokenize it to where, that value can be added to potentially XRP. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
Now, just to
should they do it is kind of the other side of the brain of like, should that value be honored?
Yeah.
With all those derivatives, probably, but
that's kind of a moral question. But on the other hand, what a lot of people don't understand about derivatives is derivatives actually keep your lights on at night. So it's all intertwined, and it's really a mess at the top, but they manipulate markets to make markets affordable, and yet they do completely skim off the top of those markets, clearly. And those markets could all run at a more efficient rate. But it is a mechanism of, I hate always using a corruption word, but it is a mechanism of keeping everything moving with liquidity. Yeah. So that's a really cool story.
Thanks, Dad. That was, I was kind of stuck on the moral aspect of it, but I mean, that I know that to be true too.
Yeah. So
part of our life now.
I was gonna bust out an announcement, but I guess I'll wait.
Oh boy.
Because we're working in the backgrounds, guys, to get on more platforms other than just YouTube, and that's coming. And there's aspects of what's being recorded on the show and other things that you may hear out in other forums and other forms of social media that we're really excited about. And we're headed there, and we're really blessed to have another individual working with us. And I'm not going to use her name because I don't have her permission yet, but we are blessed to have another member join this team, or this crew, as it were. And it's going to make a huge difference in what we do here. And she's going to hopefully make us look good, which is, she's got her work cut out.
Yeah, she does.
And 89 of you,
we're looking forward to learning from her.
Yeah, help Alan out, help an old man out, and hit the like button and subscribe.
Yeah,
and all of it.
Yep,
share.
We
appreciate it.
We got the crew in here. So, Brent, what did you learn about the questions of the coins that you got last week?
I really. Go ahead, Dad.
No, you.
Go ahead. what was so fun is I went back kind of through my old process. I've kind of told the crew on the channel, when I was working on yachts, I would at night after my shift, I would just go into my bunk, or on my days off, I'd go to a coffee shop and I would literally just try to wrap my brain around blockchain technology and how this all works. And you start to find your favorite websites. One that Dad and I used, I know kind of previous years, was like for markets was CoinMarketCal, or I'm sorry, CoinMarketCap. CoinMarketCal is another one that I used, and that is how I purchased Harmony the first time. And Harmony One was one of the blockchains that came up last week that a lot of people wanted to know about. And every time I look into Harmony, this is the second time. It looks like an unbelievable project. Same thing about Kaspa, which is what Ben was asking us about previously. So those are the two I really dug into. And I'll just try to read you guys the good stuff.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, let me pull that up. So
a lot of people involved in Kaspa. It's made a lot of big moves lately, and a lot of people are really into it.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot about it.
About Kaspa, guys. I still really want to dig into fundamentals and all that stuff. That takes even more time, which I'll get into. Market price currently is 4 cents, bordering on a nickel. Just under 20 billion in circulation supply. It is a layer 1 proof of work. The network is based on their GoStag Phantom protocol, aims to maintain elements of Bitcoin's consensus, such as proof of work mining, deflationary monetary policy, and lack of centralized governance. Kaspa on their website claims to be the fastest open source, decentralized, and fully scalable layer 1 in the world. And
it's mineable, correct?
I believe so. It must be. Yeah.
Yeah, it's proof of work, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know that we're selling mining rigs for it years ago.
So their block Dad, they say it's a digital ledger that enables parallel blocks and instant transaction confirmation, built on a proof of work engine with rapid single-second block intervals. And
wow.
As I kind of got to understand Harmony, you look at charts and graphs and how they're able to shard, and pipeline everybody to where you don't have to just do transactions on a single blockchain, but you can create like a multi-dimensional blockchain, and then you can still be processing transactions on both simultaneously. And so that is where these two projects that's the big idea that led me down.
Single second blocks. That's incredible.
Incredible. I want to say Harmony claims 2 seconds.
They're 2
seconds. They're 1 to 2 seconds for transaction signature.
Right.
So really impressive. Again, I would have to look at the chain itself and transactions on it and confirm all that, but
check volume and
But Kaspa looks like the real deal. Still want to dive into the trilemma challenge that Ben challenged me to. It really inspired me to write more about blockchain. So thank you for that, Ben, if you were in the chat with us. Let's dig into Harmony 1 a little more here. That was Kaspa. This is the one I found on CoinMarketCal. So if none of you have been on CoinMarketCal, when you pull up the website, it's just a calendar. And that calendar is looking for airdrops. It's looking for, big upgrades. It's looking for days where, each crypto, each blockchain company is having a release or something
Right.
special is happening. And so it's really neat to, look at your current month and see who's doing what. And the only trade I ever made from that website was Harmony One the first time I looked into it. And it's just, I think the sharding that I was talking about, you guys, so that the ability to split and run like shard a multi-chain
Right.
is I need to go back and relearn coding, but like just the ability to do that is where this thing needed to head. With Bitcoin and all the original the original coins and tokens, we needed these kinds of chains to essentially build dApps or decentralized applications onto.
Right. Right.
And that to me is going to be a huge part of how we all adopt it and how we all use it in the future, is going to be its functionality to us.
Yeah. The behind the scenes
Harmony
Yeah.
One, I double dare all of you to go to their website and just start clicking on their projects. Really exciting.
Yeah.
They have one called Hummingbot, which helps you do source market making. They call their wallet the Timeless Wallet. I will be checking into that. Looks very cool. Shared asset and custody control. Swapping capital efficiently in liquidity pools. Kind of your amazing, it's like all the things that you wanted to hear when you're reading about both these projects.
Yeah.
We got a question about it.
Yeah, that's JRB. Yeah.
Had issues.
This is the problem when you start going fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you get ridiculous speed, you start to implode. This is what Solana goes through a lot, right? If you're really, really fast, it's not good. Can be not good, right?
Yeah.
I just did a video about, that's all great till you hit the wall.
Right. You did.
We're having a lot of fun in this car, and then the wall hit us. Yeah. Yeah. Not good.
What about gas fees?
What are the gas fees on it?
Specifically, see if I even got into it. Yeah, I'm not sure. They claim, this is the claim, our mainnet runs Ethereum applications with 2-second transaction finality and 100 times lower fees. That one kind of, I think that's worded kind of tricky.
Yeah, it is.
I'm not sure if that's 100 times less than everybody else is doing it, or if it's
It says a lot, though. I mean,
100
times less. It's got to be cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sounds good, Becky.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we got.
Okay. Let's go to. Are you done, Brent?
Yes.
Or you want to go to some?
Thank you. No, that was.
Okay.
Those were the questions from last week.
Let's keep it moving.
Those were not from last week. Those were from this week. But I just was going with the flow.
I thought Harmony was asked last week.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
sorry.
It was.
Yes. Sorry. You guys just remembered that. This is from last week. I forgot this one. This one got missed. So I do apologize, but here he is.
And he likes to be called Greg.
Okay. I hope so. I'm going to
No,
call
I
him.
talked to him on the phone.
Oh, I'm going to call him Greg.
Much,
Yeah,
much
no, I
love,
talked to him on
Greg.
the phone. He's okay. with it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I wonder how is his name though? It's interesting. Zagor?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
In regards to SEC lawsuit and the second ruling, the remaining clarity on our XRP, which will enable institutions to come on board, the regulations as we know it, manipulations. This is where 99% of other coins will vanish. To my understanding, XRP will go up, 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 separating itself from rest of the space. Do you see this as a realistic scenario we're going to experience? Go for it, Alan.
I do not.
Okay.
I
You
just
always got to go against the grain.
no, I just know there's so many great projects
Right,
out
Brent?
there.
I love that he does that.
There's so many great coins out there, and so many. I mean, they have their own blockchain, their own tech, their own speed. They're incredible projects, and this one gets picked up by IBM, and this one gets picked up by Microsoft, and this one gets picked up by Elon Musk, and the thing of it is to have 99% of any one coin is just not realistic thinking right now. Yes, after they all crash and burn like the Solanas have, like you may have other coins or other projects picking up the pieces of other projects as we go. But Greg, that's a decade from now before you think that you're going to dominate a market. Look at Bitcoin can't even dominate 50% of the crypto market. And it had, it was first player in the game by a long shot, So no, that's idea. I do know the technology of everything that Ripple's working on and what they got planned behind the scenes is superior to any other team, in my opinion. And their team is massive and it's global. So their adoption is going to happen really fast when it does. But we don't have adoption yet to even know who's going to be the leader in adoption. I hope that makes sense. And I hope I understood your question. What do you think, Brent?
I like your answer a lot. I think there's too many different chains that do different things really, really well. And if a corporation or a company is going to use a particular one, yeah, it needs to have sound fundamentals. So they don't, they can make their company more efficient. If you, and so that's where I don't think any one is going to be able to corner the market. As we've seen with Bitcoin and others, as XRP grows and grows and grows, there will be challenges, and there will be things that the people using it will have to learn in the space.
Yeah.
And there's people who are unwilling to, get unromantic about any particular coin or something. So I think they're all going to be top 20 is going to be around for sure.
I agree. And Hoover's brought up a great point. ODL is going to be huge. It's something the other coins aren't doing yet. I think it's going to be massive. Yes. Do I think 50% of all money moving from bank to bank and globally will run on XRP tracks or more? Yes. Do we understand how big a number that is? No, you don't. You just don't understand what that means, what transactionally, and what that's going to mean to XRP and Ripple as a whole. You guys, when this thing starts true application, and when people start to understand that's what we chose, that's the path we chose to go down this crypto fundamental application of how we're going to transact going forward is on this chain. This is big, guys. You and I don't understand what we're into here. No, we do. We try to conceptualize what our future is going to be with all this stuff, but you can't. We just talked about $250 billion in derivatives. You're not I'm not even talking about real estate value or insurance values or all of it. I mean, corporation values. Everything is going to be tokenized and everything's going to need to transact from one location to another. And that's going to require more than one network. It just is. And you wouldn't want to put everything on one network. I know it, that's not decentralization. That just isn't in a fundamental level.
Yeah.
So
Well put,
Yeah.
Dad.
I love the name Hoover the Fud Killer.
Mm-hmm.
Loving that.
You loving it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what I got. I'm all organized here, chatting it up, organizing. I want to go to a Northern Living said he's done. So we're going to go back to Sterling Archer Lenore.
29.
I'm currently 29 years old, spent some time in my life unable to excel due to personal reasons. I have 5,000 in my bank account. If I invest long term, that will help me work toward a better future. And oh, I missed Sean Flynn. I knew it. That's okay. I'll be there, Sean. So I just want to jump in here, and I keep harping and harping and harping on Alan that he is
Listen to what she's saying
not
right now.
supposed to give financial advice on what to do with your money. Not only does it create ruffle some feathers in the government, but it just ruffles people's feathers in the long run, because if he doesn't tell you the right stuff and it goes sideways, then y'all hate him. So you really need to, Brent and I are loving our book review. We're doing a book review on Patreon, Anti-Fragile. Read that book, adopt that mentality, and start being responsible for your own stuff and stop looking for predictions. I am not chewing you out, Sterling. I am just giving I'm just saying, here's mama, grandma's telling you, be responsible, diversify, don't put money into crypto that you need for the rent. Consider it like, I'm not calling it a slot machine, but just think of it as putting it in a slot machine. If it comes back out again, great. If it doesn't, you parted ways with it before. But in terms of asking Alan to do,
I'm pretty sure you just gave financial advice.
don't.
It was like anti-financial advice.
Didn't you just give financial advice?
No, but as to what somebody's going to do with their 5,000 in the bank account, no.
Yeah, that's up to you to decide.
Philosophies, though, will it help you develop a better future? Yes.
Yeah, it
But
could. It
no.
definitely could.
No, just an overall philosophy of what not to do is not going to get me thrown in jail by the whomever. SEC wants to put influencers in jail now too. So
here's the
no.
biggest reason.
Yeah.
No.
Here's the biggest
Not
reason
jail, but
not to
civil.
listen to anybody on YouTube. By the way, I just heard there was an influencer just got shot.
Oh my God.
But that just reeks of two things. Number one,
Scared money.
no, they're afraid of the alternative media. So they've got to make it out. Oh, well, those guys are getting shot now. Okay. Whether or not they actually did or not, I don't really know. Okay. But they're putting that out there now. But when you're asking for financial advice from anybody, and I'm going to put financial institutions in this category, you're going to lose money. I'm not kidding you. They steal from public all the time. That is financial advice. Anybody you give your money from you to someone else is tempted by the temptation of greed, and they will find a way to skim off your pile. And that's what they do. It's called skimming. All the institutions do it. So, in my opinion, the advice that I would like to give is that you can own your own wallet and you can be your own financial institution. And that way, nobody can skim your coins. Now, as to which coin you buy, not me giving you that advice. I can tell you the ones I've bought.
I wish you wouldn't.
Yeah.
But you know the ones I talk about all the time, so you can probably do the math. But
Yeah.
so we'll go with that. But
Yeah.
this entire space is an opportunity of a lifetime, period. I'm going to leave it at that. So, yeah.
Influencing people to buy, always really good.
Yeah.
No,
All
that
right.
was solid, you guys. You covered the
It's
whole
all right.
spectrum there.
We got it. We got it all over the
You
map.
got it all, baby.
If anybody wants to sue him, not me.
Yeah.
Sean, we're coming to you. Sean
No,
Flynn.
Becky had a question.
Sorry, who?
Becky.
No, it was a comment.
Oh, okay.
Sean Flynn, what needs to happen to finally resolve the case with the SEC? The parts of the ruling that stated that Ripple's institutional sales were unregistered securities. Does this go to an actual trial, or is a settlement more likely? And what do you see as the time frame? Thanks for all the crew you do. Sean,
That's
kind of not
department.
totally loaded. So number one, what needs to happen to finally resolve the case? There's a couple of things. Brad and Chris are going to be tried on whether they were reckless disregard of the rules and helping Ripple do their little institutional sales bargain for exchange with their investors, the institutional sales investors. So they're getting tried on that right now. Could they settle? Sure, because everyone's talking appeal. How does that work? Well, the SEC, I've mentioned this before, mentioned on many other platforms, but the SEC has to ask the judge for permission at this point. If the judge says sure, they have to ask for more permission up above. So it's not that straightforward. The way that Judge Torres set her ruling up is quite strategic. I don't agree with some of her analysis. Not a sour grapes, and Alan will tell you. Well, you've heard me say I don't pick sides. I don't pick favorites. I may lean a certain way depending on what the law says, and that's the place we live in. It's about law and facts apply to law. But I don't love it. But I think she structured it so that the SEC kind of has to take their lumps on her ruling that way. Ripple has to take their lumps on the way she ruled it another way. So if someone wants to do that, or everybody has the right to appeal after it's all said and done, which would be after the trial, which would probably be set for next year at the earliest. There's going to be a schedule, so I don't have to make predictions, right, Brent?
Nice.
No, predictions are for suckers. We know that now.
Coin market cap, baby.
Fragilistas. I'm no fragilista. But
No.
anyway, 2024. Love that book, by the way. We're doing a good book review on Patreon, me and Brent. We loving it.
We love this book. Really gets your brain moving.
Yeah. It
and
sets you
thinking
straight.
about-
Yeah, it does set you straight when you try and go for something. But I think that Ripple's institutional sales were technically unregistered securities under Howey. I don't disagree with that. It doesn't make me all worked up. I don't get my panties in the wad over it. I don't say, oh my God, Howey is it's so hard to figure out. It's like, look, if you lend somebody money and they have to pay you back, that's not a security. Any other arrangement where you're trying to get funding is probably going to be deemed a security under that test. It doesn't matter what you sell. So that's a very simplistic base level way of thinking about it. And you can see Stuart Alderoty's little clip that he did on Twitter, which was excellent. And finally
it was
actually
really good.
Talked clear about it rather than all this other nonsense about fair notice, and they didn't get fair notice this, and of course they did. So hopefully we're going to not lose subscribers when I say that. We probably will. But anyway, the parts of the ruling, does this go to an actual trial or a settlement more likely? So a settlement is like, maybe they just want to go away. I mean, what's at risk for Brad and Chris? Nothing. It just they're going to get us another slap on a wrist over here, slap on a wrist over there. Everyone's moving along. XRP's got wheeling and dealing all over the place.
Yeah.
Has that really hurt anything? No. Everybody whipped this whole thing up into a frenzy when really the whole thing's just a lawsuit. This is what governments do. They come after you, you get a penalty, you move on with your life.
Yeah.
But I think that the influencers have created too much noise and not enough signal about what this lawsuit really means. I don't know that it means everything, that everybody's putting all this weight onto it. And I don't. And I've always said that. I think Alan will tell you. I've always said that.
That's true. One of the things is I wouldn't even necessarily blame the influencers. I'd blame the fact that the SEC has been dragged to people and try and make rule with suing people. That's not how you make rule. So one of the beautiful things that's happened this week is the CFTC CEO, no, he's president, I believe he is. He came out and said, you know, I don't think it should even be up to me and the SEC. This should be up to, and Senator Loomis, which has been harping on this for 5 years that I know of, you people aren't even qualified to create a law like this. Why is SEC creating law?
They're not creating law.
That's right. But they are, because a judge will rule on the lawsuit.
It's just saying that their bargain for exchange between them and the institutional sales investors was a securities contract.
That's right.
I mean, Alan and I disagree on this 100%.
That's right.
So don't worry about that.
No, it doesn't bother either one of us. But the point of the matter is if you have an institution like crypto, and it's its own institution now, and they decide that they're going to go forward with an industry, they should be given a guide by laws or something, a guidance by the government, and say, okay, this technology, you can do this and this and this with it. They never did that. So everybody's been shooting from the hip and trying to figure out what's level ground. Then they throw lawsuits to create rulings. And when you do that, everybody gets on edge, and nobody's an attorney like you, Elizabeth. And then they come up to their own conclusions, where shows like this one, where we are content providers and we're not lawyers, and we look at things and we decide things through emotions and our bank accounts, and it becomes very significant to our lives. And they've allowed this to happen. And I personally don't think it's been an accident. I think they like the turmoil. I think they like the indecisiveness, and you can't build a financial foundation on that ground. And that's why they did it. They knew that you could never get the population to agree with something when it's constantly in turmoil. And
Carl, it was just for the
sense.
IPO though, right? The institutional sales. I think these are mutually exclusive things. The institutional sales were when I said, sure, can I borrow, $757 million? Sure, but what's in it for me? Here, I'll give you all this XRP, and we're going to promote the shit out of it so that it goes up in price, and then you'll get all your money back and then some. What do you think? Sure. And you can watch Stuart Alderoty's video. He puts it much more eloquently than that. But let me go to, should want to switch gears to another question?
Sure.
Okay.
Nice job, both of you, on that question.
When will you start charging for phone calls? Ron Wood, laugh out loud.
You want to pay me for a phone call? Well,
hit the like button.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hit the like button. We're happy with that. It's crossed our mind. There are some people that have asked me in the past, and I guess we're working on that in the background. I don't know that we'll ever do that, but hey, don't rule anything out. I mean, people like private time with individuals, and you know, I understand, because there are times when I like to talk to other people that I think know something about life or in general that I would like to hear from as well, that I can't call. But if I had the opportunity, I probably would. So
Yeah.
that could come in the future.
Okay. What crypto 99% will go away? Haven't seen a list. MKP.
What a
It's got a
great
big
question.
XRP logo here.
Okay, XRP's on the list.
He's an XRP maxi.
Right. Well, no, we don't know that.
I'm just joking.
Um,
I'm screwing around.
wait, I put out a list about 4 months ago, and it had 20 coins on it. So all the ones you can imagine. How's that?
Okay. There you go. That's your answer.
I mean, lately, you want to know the two projects that I'm really excited about? These are the two, and I know everybody already owns them in this group, but I've been really looking into HBAR because a lot of people have been asking me about Hashgraph. Okay. And I've also been looking into XDC, which I really looked into a year ago. But lately it's been moving up the chart so much. And I've been like, wait a minute, why is this thing done nothing? And now it's like up 50% in the last 2 weeks. Both of those, for the price and their future, are something that if I was going to spend 5 cents on a crypto, those two would be on my short list of coins. How's that?
Yep.
Why are institutions not buying on XRP now while it's cheap? Chris 88.
First of all, who told you they're not? That would be my first question. Number two, what's bought and sold on the exchanges is what we call in the industry slosh. Those are onesies, twosies, under 500 coins at a time. And that is, that's not the real market, guys. Trust me, that's not the real market. Institutions are buying all of these coins, and they're not going to let you know they're buying all these coins until they've bought all the coins they need, and until they've decided where. Remember when I was just talking about stable ground? When they want to solidify the ground, and this is the stable ground, and we're going to all grow crypto from here, then they'll all be in. When that's going to be, I have no idea. I don't have a crystal ball on that one.
Okay. No crystal balls today, Vern?
No,
That's too bad.
no.
Carl, what are your thoughts about taking profits in the bull market to reinvest in the bear? Or will you just hold? Hypothetically speaking,
We're
Alan.
taking profits in the bull market
There you
to
go.
reinvest in a bear.
What do you got for that, Brent?
Talk about
It goes. Here's why I like it.
How do you pick the top?
I like it because I looked at Bitcoin's historical chart again recently, which basically does this, and then a little dip off, little correction, little slant, and then does this slant, and then does this. And so if you're a long-term trader and hodler,
Yeah.
and we love those folks around here, if you've been lucky enough to ride a bull and you're smart enough to sell before the thing corrects, and then you use those earnings to reinvest back down at the new low, if you can guess at what that is going to be, then this would be like advantageous. This is how I would look at charts and investing. And
The way I would answer that question is the same thing Brent just said. We believe in dollar cost average. I really appreciate it. The only thing is that when you've had a parabolic move for like 6 months, you need to start, taking a percentage out at that point. But every other time, you should be a buyer. No, I didn't say that. My lawyer's right here. I can't say that. You should dollar cost average. If you were willing to buy crypto, you should do that at that point. So right now, I'm going to say that I'm guessing, and we're going to go sideways for another 2 to 6 months. That's my guess. Sideways. I don't know if you guys remember, Bitcoin sat at $8,000 for like 9 months. And everybody was like, my God, it's just not doing anything. And it shot to $69,000. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
That's it. That's all you got.
That's all I got. Again, I don't have my crystal balls.
Everybody needs that crystal ball. What do we know about crystal balls there, Brent? Mr. Anti-Fragilista.
Yeah. No,
I
he
got
already answered
strong
that.
crystal balls.
Hey, if
Let's get-
anybody's got a system for picking the top, call me. I will give you my phone number.
Yeah.
XRP is made for the derivatives. I think he meant to type. I hope only XRP can handle it. Messy Leo.
That he might be referring to what I said earlier.
Okay.
That's actually not true, but okay. Maybe. Other so many networks are amazing. I just talked about one. HBAR can handle it. No question. And in fact, HBAR, if you look, ISDA is HBAR. And Algorand were already signed on. Just saying, guys. They were already signed into the derivative swap market before Ripple. So, no, they're not. Ripple or XRP is not the only one that can handle it. My opinion.
His show.
My opinion.
His opinion. Bank of England now using Ripple hand orange covering eyes. Oh, you wanted to put a little emoji there. Bank of England is now using Ripple.
Yeah, Lewis has done a bunch of great shows on that. If you guys haven't caught
Yeah.
those, you should check them out.
Check out Lewis Jackson, you guys, on that.
And we did a show 4 or 5 months ago about that's exactly what we saw coming. And then he and I did an interview together, and we were talking about it like, hey, well, they're going to let UK do it before the US. So US is stalling intentionally to let the UK do it, just like they did with the derivatives market, just like they did with London gold market, just like they did with the Forex market, just like they did with the commodities exchange market. They let London do it first because depending on who you want to listen to, London gives America the orders to do anything. So they wanted them to have the industry before US. They wanted London to succeed before New York. And that's a pattern that's been happening for 50 years. You can look it up. We did a show about it. And yes, it's planned, in my opinion.
Do you think it's so that they're the first profiteer, or do you think it's more of a control?
Both, but the first one, because what else? Like I did in the show, what else does London export? I mean, rock stars, beer. Like they don't have any natural resources, so they've always been really good in. Espionage. They're really good, the MI6 and all the rest of that. So they're in the information business, or should I say they scatter a lot of rumors. They're good at that, so that's kind of what they're into. But when an industry
do so.
Yeah, when an industry comes along to where it controls money, they're first in line. Always. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
What else we got?
I got XRP Slave. 2 other YouTube bloggers always whisper poly sign. You met them in Vegas, Bradley and DAI.
Yes.
XRP Slave.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Polysign will go on the research list here. Dad
We
and I
were-
confused it last week for Polygon.
I
So
know I
that's about
screwed
how
that
much
up.
that's not how much we know about it.
Yeah. No,
so we'll dive in.
I actually did know a lot about him, but I forgot. I got the two coins mixed up, and it was, I think it was Lisa's goes, Alan, I think you were talking about Polysign, or supposed to be. I was like, oh, right. It was a senile moment, but you get those around here. But yeah, Polysign, a great group. What they're building is what you and I are going to need as soon as we become profitable. You're going to need financial help, and you're going to need people that understand the tax ramifications of cryptocurrencies and how to make a monthly income and how to use your coins the most effectively instead of just selling them and holding them generationally. That's what Polysign does. That's what they're good at. And I think they're brilliant people. I don't know enough about them. I was invited to do a show, and I wasn't able to go to the show in Texas by two other channels wanted me to go there. And that would have been interesting because that was run by the two founders of the company, and they wanted to meet me personally. And I was like, wow, this is going to be so cool. And I couldn't go. So I don't know more about it. That I should know more about it because they were really kind to me and very gracious, but I don't. And I know they're part of our future, guys. I know that in a financial sense.
I'll do a fun write-up, and we'll talk about them next week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, you ready? Sorry.
Yeah.
Sean Robbins, what does it not mean for the petrodollar if Saudi Arabia joins BRICS? Is it the death of the petrodollar or something else? Seems obvious, but I want to know what I may be overlooking. Northern Living also interested in Alan's take on this BRICS meeting coming up.
I just did a BRICS gold video that, if you guys haven't seen it, that was kind of an interesting angle.
That's the most recent video. It was excellent, Dad. I really enjoyed. Dad got wild with it, you guys. He went for it on the BRICS topic. I couldn't believe it. I was like, nice.
Yeah.
Yes. So check out the last video.
Yeah. So I'm gonna kind of go. That's where my head's at right now. That whole thing. So I'm gonna kind of, some of this might fall into what the video said, but essentially what's going on is there's powers in the world that don't want the US, or like I just mentioned, the UK, to control the money machine any longer. They have abused its privilege, and they've used it for really absurd things, building massive military, ruling or going into countries that had oil. Isn't that interesting that we only bomb countries that have oil or crops or something, and we only defend those people? And anyway, you can do the math on that. So it's a asset or people's commodities grab is what it is. And it's blatant. It's very obvious, anyway. So we're still in Syria. I mean, let's look at Syria. We're still in Syria. We only control 20 or 30% of Syria, but that 20% of the country that we control produces 80% of their oil. We're there for humanitarian reasons? No, that's math. Okay. The other countries of the world have grown tired of London and New York, or London and DC, deciding to steal our assets and our people's labor, okay, with this fictitious money that they create through a bond market, which nobody wants their bonds anyway. And we're giving them our oil and our labor of our people. We're not wanting that anymore. So the Saudis have something real. They have oil. Why don't the Saudis rule the world with the amount of oil they've had over the last 50 years? Because they partnered up with this country, and this country sold them a pack of lies back in 1971 when we backed the dollar with oil. We sold them a big pack of lies, and they believed it for a very long time. Well, they're not anymore. And now they're starting to listen to the other side, which is not the enemy. These are people that actually want to see real commerce happen on the face of the planet. And they're not warmongers. They're not run by a military industrial complex. So without getting too deep into all that, it is a big thing. It is happening. Is it going to happen tomorrow? Maybe, but no. Because the amount of people that you and I know that still believe a dollar is a dollar is immense. And they've been brainwashed by this bill in their hand or this digit on a screen, and they think it's real. And countries have to convince those people that no, oil and your labor is real, not the digits that they've lied to you about for the last 50 years, because it's backed by nothing.
Is the alphanumeric numbers on a screen that we call a digital asset, is that real?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How does that compare to your thoughts on the bonds not being real?
Bonds are not real because there's no limit to them creating more.
Is there a limit on how many crypto digital assets people create?
Yes.
Yes. That's the whole point, is that there's
Yeah.
a finite amount
On
that
all
can
of them?
be
I mean, they just
generated
need
on
to
a chain.
generate them out of thin air, right?
And then
I mean, that's what one of the
block-
lawsuits said about XRP. They generated a bazillion of them out of thin air.
That's true.
Mhm.
They are generated thin software, which is the same thing that every doctor uses in a hospital and every pilot gets you to your location is software. Is that real? Is your phone call with somebody is digital? Is that real?
Well, then isn't a bond real? They give it to me on a piece of paper.
But the abuse of the bond is a backing of good faith of a nation that has not been good and faithful.
All right.
They've printed more and
Well,
more bonds.
Think
I'm
of
just
it.
gonna-
Think of it this way too, everybody. Like, it's the whole money versus currency argument.
Yeah.
The real is kind of a woo-woo term in that, but it's to have like a storage or actually have something still, whereas like the potential for its liquidation or for it to be eradicated of its value in like currency can make something worthless, or I guess not real.
Right.
But real is kind of an abstract in that.
Just get me the Lambo.
Right.
Okay. I'm going to go back to PolySign for a second, just because I've been trying to do that better about maybe some later comments
Okay.
to attach to the later, because they put the comments while you guys were chatting and I missed them. But I was cut off in Vegas, next in line to question Jack McDonald of PolySign. And then they stopped questions as I stood there like a jack wagon. And
I remember that actually, but
And-
we had to break for lunch or something, didn't we? I mean, I think they took like 3 more questions than they were going to.
maybe
Yeah.
I wanted to ask him what facet, if any, is XRP going to be used by PolySign? I know their atomic settlement platform is using its own native token. So I'm dying to know where XRP works there or not.
I know there's a deep relationship. I don't know much more than that. Sean, you probably know as much, if not more about it than I do. I'm going to be totally honest. I don't understand. I've never read a document where they're linked, okay, at all. As far as I'm concerned, they are completely different platforms.
Okay.
I've never read anything that says, oh, yeah, we're joined at the hip. No, they're 2 totally different institutions.
This is an later. This was at 12:55. So Jim White was commenting on another conversation. If you invest nothing, the reward is worth little. Invest in promising projects and sit back, relax. Don't knock, don't seek, don't demand. Just sit back and relax. Beautiful.
It's a beautiful
Woo.
thing.
Not a boy.
And be
Thank you,
happy.
Jim. Thank you, Sean. Thanks everybody
JP
for
Martin.
watching.
Hi, guys and ma'am. Is it bad to hope for staking XRP in the AMM or banks and rather not sell but pay taxes on the interest only?
No, I think it's brilliant. And I think that's where we're all headed, JP. Big time. That's not only where we're headed. They already know, the institutions already know this. Why isn't it interesting when you looked at the institutions that got into crypto first and actually put their hands up and said, yeah, we're involved in that, with all the ones who are basically tied to pension, monthly income, residual income, long-term benefit of holding an asset, not profiting and selling said stock. That's the problem. I did a video, I keep talking about all the videos I've done. I did a video recently about the difference between stock and a crypto. And the difference is exactly what you just said. You're going to create long-term generational monthly income with a crypto. That's not happening with Apple stock. Apple stock is it goes up and you sell it. Now, when they tokenize Apple stock, and again, to Elizabeth's question, they need to create more coins. They need to create more Apple stock. How many shares of Apple are there out there? And it keeps growing. And it's like, well, when are you guys going to stop? They just created another bond again to create more shares of Apple stock. And you're like, well, dude, what's the bond thing gig? What's that all about? When are you going to finally come up with an infinite number? And they don't.
Mm-hmm.
And the beautiful thing is as our use case increases with our XRP, people are going to need it. Okay. You don't need a share of Apple for your phone to work. That's the big difference. And it's huge.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think it has the chance to revolutionize banking. So,
yes.
So I think it's good to hope for it in a way. I used to think bad, right? Like everybody, and no, there can be some great effects, hopefully.
Yeah.
In honesty in banking. What a concept. Maybe.
Unbelievable. And it's so easy to do, right, guys? Like the basic principle of crypto, I want everybody to understand this. What it does to banking. Bank right now is you borrow from bank. Okay. Bank says you owe this much and you pay this much per month. Okay. The future of banking is what crypto did to banking was there's 3 wallets. Mine, the other person, and the one in the middle, which is neutral and it has no skin in the game. And that in and out is the neutral. We don't need banks anymore because we have the neutral. It can't be corrupted. That's what banks were created to do, was be neutral. Well, they haven't been neutral. They've been skimming, stealing, and creating and getting caught at it, frankly, of taking from the citizens. And we don't need them anymore. It's just software. No longer needed.
Brent, did you do your Caspa homework? It's running in bull market.
Woo, it's running, huh? Yeah, I watched it go from it's like 4 cents to 5 cents. It was when I was researching, it was going up.
Sith must have joined late.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we talked about it, Sith Lord. But I'm gonna keep going deeper. I also talked about Harmony One. From this week, I'm gonna try to add a little more and write a nice, tight, kind of quippy, a little bit of everything paragraph for everybody, so that we can kind of chew on these projects, see if we're interested in them for ourselves, and then you go off and do your research. We'll get into HBAR XTC were the ones Dad said. I saw Quant in the chats.
Mhm.
PolySign, we're still going to get to Gala Games. Tron and Flare come up a lot. So we'll try to look into
Right.
those.
Yep.
Messi, Leo, back to the other question. The SEC has 60 days is what I learned in federal law. It's not a hard and fast rule, but it's a rule that's in general followed to ask for that permission to do an interlocutory appeal, which is just a fancy way of saying before final judgment, which there is no final judgment. If they go to trial, win or lose, then the parties will have 60 days to appeal anything that happened before, except I think discovery issues, but doesn't matter. Whatever they want to complain about, it's 60 days after everything is wrapped up. So those are timeframes to keep in mind for everybody that's needing those predictions.
And Case said something in here. He said Elizabeth is hot.
And I told him I'm old enough to be his grandmother.
But yes, she is. Yes, she's a beautiful woman.
He's like, who is she? I'm like, I'm the ball, I'm the chain, or am I the ball and chain?
You're both.
All right, thank you. Sith, financial use cases aren't built on networks with large gas fees or sub-layer 2 networks. They'll use assets that can move and settle value instantly and lock trapped capital, something Bit and ETH can't do.
That's correct.
Mhm.
Yes, that's a statement of fact.
Winning, Sith, the way to go.
No, he's sharp.
He's a
Or
sharp guy.
She or whatever Sith
Sith
is.
Lord, thank
She-
you always.
We go
Yeah.
with he. Thoughts on
Yeah.
Casper, just covered that.
We covered that in the beginning of the video.
Please explain how we can be our own financial institution. JP Martin instead of JP Morgan.
Yeah, I love it.
Thanks,
Okay,
guy.
yeah.
Okay.
We always talk about be your own bank, right? Dad was
Right.
explaining neutrality, what the bank should have been, and were asked to do by the people and the government to do, and they went to the races with it. For us, I think it's about obtaining or trading for these cryptos and learning enough about the blockchain so that we can actually ourselves see the honesty. I think once you understand how it actually works and you've actually seen block to block movement, you're like, okay, wow, like this is something I'll keep going. And then you learn about wallets and smart contracts and what it takes to build decentralized applications. And kind of once you get your head around that kind of group of knowledge, that's, I think, how we turn ourselves into a financial institution with crypto.
Exactly, Brent. That's the foundation. And then where I would give everybody a conceptual where I think it's all going is JP, what's about to happen is with smart contracts and linking with AI, you're going to have accounts that are going to trade 24 hours a day. Okay. And then also your attention span for you being on social media will be compensated as well. They're already headed there with Twitter, and that is coming. So how you're going to be your own financial institution is you're going to set up a bot. They won't even be bots. They'll be AI. They'll be on an algorithm that institutions will support. And you'll be able to say, oh, okay, now instead of going in and reading the old school, you'd read the paper and see which is the best performing stock. You'll see which is the best performing AI bot. And your crypto will go into that, and you'll be part of that trading mechanism, and you will share in the profits, almost just like mining is with Bitcoin today, these mining pools. And those pools are going to generate profit. And when people say to me, oh, well, then they'll just stop trading. Trading won't exist. No, trade will never end, ever. The lights will all go out before trading ends.
Mhm.
And it's because the system makes a lot of money off trading. But you and I and commodities around the world need trade to find the free floating price of goods. So we will always have trade, and you're going to be able to find, again, those institutions, create your own personal bots or institution to do your trading, to make your income for you so you can go walk the dog more often. That's where it's all going.
Yep.
Through smart contract, through AI, and through secure networks and decentralization, Web3, your life is pretty looking real good. In particular, if you're under my age.
Yeah. Totally
Okay.
agree, Dad.
Somebody mentioned about PolySign. David's runs PolySign or something.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that don't like PolySign.
Okay.
It's very controversial.
All right. Well, everybody wants the certainty. What do you think will be the next event? Ripple SEC result that could catapult the XRP price? Coinbase, all those Coinbase, Bittrex, Binance, resolving all that now because those are all the brokers. And then the Grayscale issue. I wanted to get to more of that on Patreon, but Alan's boating season kind of sets us back a little. Un poquito, sorry guys. But we will definitely get back on track with those. I really do want to cover those things. They're very important. The Ripple lawsuit, while it's important, it's not the only one that will be, I hate to use the word influential, but there's more cases that are as important, possibly even more important than Ripple. And any one of those that goes to appeal will be most important because it will actually then be have precedential value. But let's go to
the big, okay. And
and
the
you
second
go.
half of
Yeah.
that question is the big event, in my opinion, will be institutional spot trading is going to create demand, not just for Bitcoin. It's going to create, oh, you mean that's legal? Oh, you mean I can put that in my 401k now? Boom. And it's going to trickle down. It's going to explode Bitcoin first, and then the altcoin market will take off after that. My opinion. There's a lot of
Very
people think
nice.
it's going to be a negative, but I don't.
Alan never thinks anything's a negative. This is going back. We can all start on an AMM as I understand, but it was too complicated for me. Check out Lewis on that. That's a way any group of trusted friends can become our own banks. He's going back and just going back in
that
time
too.
on that.
Yeah.
Okay. And hey, Carl. Oh, hey, Carl, look into this shit ton of NDAs, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, that's
Yeah.
Sean. Al's Pond. I'm not allowed to say AI Pond anymore. All ISO
222
Thank you.
is the way I call it.
Will stick around for sure. Not sure how many there are, question mark.
A lot.
We went through the list
Yeah.
last week, right? There's a lot.
Yeah, but we didn't.
I don't say I've read 10-ish.
Al's
Yeah.
making predictions for the tops. Way to go, buddy.
Yeah.
Loving it. Call me.
Look for reversal candles.
Call me. Call me
Yeah.
on those reversal candles.
Got that
Yeah. And
fortune teller.
yeah, what he's talking about is the wicks at the top.
I understand.
But I know you understand, but a lot of people don't.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh
But-
yeah, those candles.
But that isn't a guarantee of anything.
Winning strategy. Just bugging you. Don't panic. Codius and Flare, Brent, on your list, please. Oh, price predictions. Here's my takeaway for Sunday. Everybody pick up a book called Anti-Fragile and get reading.
Yeah.
HBAR and XDC in the next bull run. Next show, I'm bringing the 8-ball.
Dollars.
I am bringing the 8-ball.
Dollars is the answer to that question. I don't know, over $1.
We got to give somebody a bad time.
These are the
30
two that Dad wanted us to look up from today's show. So HBAR and XDC for sure.
Okay.
We're going
Perfect.
to
Thanks,
discuss
Brent.
more and see what they're doing.
I looked, okay. I talked about, I should have wrote it down, but you guys know who he is. But there was a great show done last week, and CJ's show about Flare tokens was brilliant. Okay. And CJ is, well, you guys posted in the thing. I believe it's CEEJ, I believe is his channel. Guy is super sharp. I lean on that guy whenever I don't know something and I need to know something about what's going on in the background. I go to his channel. He's that good. I like him a lot. I know I promoted his show last week, but I didn't have his actual. Somebody needs to post that in the chat so I can recite it exactly. I should have wrote that down, but somebody brought up Flare and I wanted to make sure they saw that show on Flare. He did.
Going back here, the tokens are not 222. It is the company's. Sith Lord
That's right.
clarified that he's a man, which is super important.
And he's proud of it, which is awesome.
And
He's
don't be
cracking.
proud of it because we could get banned.
No,
Simon
he can be proud
says
of being a man.
crypto. Forget he didn't get the joke. Simon says crypto, be your own bank means you are the lender.
Yep.
Go boy, go on that
Yep.
one.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Luke Lalonde.
And Simon is the man.
Dog
Yes,
Fang,
yes.
back to Dog Fang. Can anything be turned into a derivative such as stocks or commodities or assets?
I looked this question up specifically. What really good one I found. The most common underlying assets for derivatives are stocks, bonds, commodities, currencies, interest rates, and market indexes.
I was going to answer the question. They already have been.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
But I would say everything is essentially what they try to do.
This is for you, Brent. When you
Mhm.
do your research on HBAR XDC or XCD, maybe that was a switch. I thought it was X. Maybe there is an XCD. Look at the PDF, but I think he means XDC.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah,
We did, and it's amazing.
And then this is
I'll
for
make
Brent.
sure and refer to it, Simon. Thank you.
XDC HBAR will dominate the new financial system. XRP Preacher's opinion. He's entitled to it. He's a guest.
He is absolutely correct in a lot
What's
of ways.
up, XRP Preacher?
Ron wants some predictions. I'm going to get that 8 ball. Okay. But
We
he's
need an 8 ball.
but he's got a lot of XRP. I'll take some of your XRP for a $2 when prediction.
Okay, Ron Wood. When it
I think I
hits-
can't say that. That was a joke for any of the
right,
idiots that want to ban me.
it will hit $2 right before it goes to $2.01. How's that for a prediction?
I love it.
right
man,
before.
that oof. Ouch. Ouch.
Anonymous Aviator.
I'm not
We love
laughing
you,
at
Ron.
Ron. I love you, bro.
We love you,
teasing
Ron.
We're just screwing around. We're getting
Yeah.
a little punchy. Can we participate in an SPV, special vehicle purpose, as a group to buy pre-IPO shares of Ripple and PolySign, given that we don't meet the institutional investor requirements to invest?
You can go to Brad Kine's Discord, and yes, you can do that through those guys. I'm not sure if there's still availability there, but check Brad Kine's show out. And he set that up a long time ago. I want to say 9 months ago. He's been working on that. And I'm not sure if there's still IPO shares available. But we are not an accredited investor, and I don't plan on becoming one because I was really pissed at the president that created the whole mess.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah. Really,
I mean,
really stupid.
it was beyond absurd.
Quite stupid.
Yeah,
Okay.
you could have 30 years in financial networks and not be a investor. Does that make sense to anybody? Like, you could write a PhD paper on finance, and you're not allowed to be a accredited investor because you don't have $1 million. That's absurd. That's the rich getting richer. And they just passed it. Oh, yeah. Perfect. Let's write that law. Anyway.
I'll never forget
Oh.
the time. I'll never forget the time you told me about that. Both of you. We were in your PB house, and Dad was pissed.
I was upset.
That's basically when you guys moved to Mexico, wasn't it?
That's why we moved to Mexico.
And I can't play poker. That was worse.
Oh, that is not
Worse.
right.
It's so wrong.
And Elizabeth can't play her poker. People are just really screwing up.
Alchemist. Well, you got the nanny staters or whatever they were.
Yeah.
Ask again another time, or maybe Vegas had too much of a hand on it.
Yeah, but you can buy all the lottery tickets you want. No problem.
Yeah.
You can't play online poker.
No.
Yeah, makes sense.
Can't bet on sports. But you can take a chance on guessing numbers.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Somebody posted Brad Klein still has spots available. Very cool.
Where's that?
It was in the chat.
For spots available for what?
The IPO for Ripple.
We're not telling you to do that. Okay, Cole Pen. We're not telling you to do it. We're not telling you not to do it.
No, they asked if we could get a group together and form a group.
Oh,
buy
I
them.
see.
And
I
was
see.
like,
Cole Pen. What happens to XRP and XLM, etc., if some central banks go away? Like what happened during President Jefferson era? He got them out of USA.
we're in a real that's not a far-fetched question whatsoever. That could possibly happen.
You want to think on that one?
No, I don't think it's going to happen because what we all don't understand is it's not the 1800s. We need a global network because we buy things from all over the world. Okay. And you have to pay for it immediately. This is why I know crypto is going to succeed, is because it is instant payment around the world and it doesn't have a home. XRP doesn't have a nation. Bitcoin doesn't reside in one place. It's everybody's to use. And that's something the central banks are going to have to change their way of thinking to adopt, which is kind of why I keep talking about the law. The law has to change because they don't know what they're dealing with. It's not anything they've had before. So they're still trying to figure out even what digital is. You know, what is real? Is me on this video right now, is that real or not? We have to come up with that answer first. We don't have that yet.
Oh, no.
I feel like it's gonna the technology and how we use it and the evolution of that will certainly shrink the size of the central banks. Like that's my prediction. It will hopefully make them more efficient right up front. And then after that, people will kind of see the writing on the wall, what's going on with the tech, and be like, okay, wow, I can do this myself. I don't need all this interference.
Yeah. I see they're still hitting on my wife in the chat.
No, it's just
That's all
one
good.
guy. You said nobody gets banned, so he's pretty close to being banned.
No banning.
And it takes a lot for me to do that. Kung Fu Tuber.
Case has good taste in women.
I think eventually it's just distracting in trying to get the comments. I think eventually you will need Apple tokens to be able to use your Apple devices. Possibly.
Yeah, that could be a real mistake on their part.
I love his name.
Northern Living?
No, Kung Fu Tuber.
Oh.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
That's good stuff.
I like Northern Living because it reminds me of Northern Exposure.
Yeah. I know. Talk about Spend the Bits and El Salvador. Amazing.
Yep. Spend the bits, guys. Here we go, man. This is happening. What's happening in El Salvador is going to happen around the world. I have news for everyone. Please understand, we finally have a president who actually wants a good thing for his people and the people of the world. Is he going about it in sort of a dictatorial way? Yes, at times he is. However, I believe his heart and his intentions are good. So that's something I can't say for the rest of the fools running the rest of the mess. So, yeah, spend bits. Look it up, guys. Cool stuff. And here we go. It's happening. Oh,
We're
and
gonna, yeah.
Go ahead, Brent.
Like them, like El Salvador, and it's the first place I ever saw videos of people actually transacting with crypto on their phones. We, as like Dad's saying, it's coming to a country near you, and I'm not scared of it at all. It's just another process, another thing that you just learn how to do it, and you do transactions in a different way. Some companies may offer a card, some may offer wallets and apps, most likely both, but we'll get used to whatever we need to get used to make transactions and trades with each other. And that's what they've integrated that throughout El Salvador with Bitcoin. And it's just so fascinating. And I'm so appreciative of those people going for it. Because it makes it real. It makes it.
And its adoption is still under 10%. And everyone keeps the media will go, oh, it's only 6-8% of the people of the nation are using it. Well, okay. I mean, I understand that, but I always refer to this. China started a CBDC and less than 4% of the people in a communist culture was told to use this coin, and they're getting half the adoption. So it's happening slowly, but it is working and it's happening.
We're at an hour and a half, so I want to kind of grab some. I'm sorry if I skipped some of your questions, but if we already threw up some questions, I want to try and throw up a couple of new people that I didn't see earlier. Galapagos. Okay. There's a talk that Stellar with Protocol 20 will cause assets like stocks after cryptos to migrate to Stellar. Is this true? And who will initiate such action?
I don't know.
Stocks.
I did read that. I've heard people recite it a bunch of times as if it's real. I don't know that.
Okay. We'll look into it.
No way of knowing.
Brent's got it on his very long list of research items.
Yeah.
Though I've looked into it.
Stellar feels very connected to me. The more I read about it,
He's announced it is speculate. Yeah.
Cody Garcia is back. Welcome back. Very interested in fractionalized ownership of real estate. Common Sense Crypto mentioned a company named Quarter Homes as a partner with HBAR.
Yes. The beauty of HBAR is you're going to be able to do all of those NFTs, which is really what he's talking about here. When you start fractionalizing stuff, you're going to use a NFT to fractionalize a piece of property. So in other words, 1 million people could own one house. One really popular Airbnb or, Hearst Castle or something, whatever, we could all share in the profit of it. And that's coming. Yeah.
There's your derivatives market right there.
Yeah, there you have it.
Hoover, I'm just throwing this up for a time being. Carrie Trotter says, hey, she's a late joiner, I think. Note, as of July 2023, BitPay supports XRP payments in most locations. XRP may not be available.
Yes. The beauty of what Senor Bukele did is he just passed another law that said, we believe in all crypto, not just Bitcoin. People have labeled El Salvador as just a Bitcoin country. It's not. They actually put it through their constitution or whatever, their parliament or whatever they are, their government. And the government said, no, we like crypto, all of them. We'll take it all. If it works, we'll use it. So, but yeah, I see what he's saying about different countries. So XRP will be used there. Whatever network people adopt and it works for them and it's easy, or it's behind the scenes and they don't even know they're using it, is what people are going to use. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Carrie. We just use he and she interchangeable around here.
Thanks
We
for
do.
all the comments.
Don't be
today. Hoover
offended.
is crushing it.
Yeah.
Do not be offended.
I am proud to say I never used to be a woman, though. So that I am sure of that. But other than that,
I want to be a female dog so I can marry my boy Bruno.
okay. Yeah.
How
I
about
can-
that?
yeah.
Governor Newsom said I could.
There you go.
Luke Lalonde. What are the chances XRP becomes number one? Numero uno.
Maybe next
Ice.
bull run.
Maybe next bull
Dad?
run?
Do you
In
even
price, is he
dare?
asking? It's not going to happen in price, but
No.
it could be the number one most traded. It came close to being that last week or last month, right? When they announced.
I'd rather see it be the most traded. Like if
Yeah.
it's got great use all
Yeah.
over the globe, we don't want the price to be completely insane, because then it'll be the same process, same system all over again.
Yeah.
We want more of us to have more of it so that we can all trade amongst each other
Yeah.
without borders.
I don't know if everybody saw, but Bitcoin is almost 1 billion transactions. They're like whatever million.
Wow. Want for number one in price.
Quant could take number one slot in price and terms.
No, and in price terms, wow.
Didn't know
He's
that.
hopeful. He asked the 8-ball.
Yeah.
It's
Again,
an
my
ISO
crystal
coin,
ball-
right, Dad?
I'm sorry.
It's an ISO coin, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I'm gonna get into that. Oh, we're gonna
No,
do that.
I don't believe that could happen, but it's not cheap now, right? So, and there's not that many of them. I don't know off the top of my head. That's terrible. I should know that.
It's all
I
right.
don't.
It's Sunday.
Yeah.
We're screwing around. Kung
Dad,
Fu
it's your
Tuber.
friend Kung Fu Tuber is back.
This is all
Nice.
for entertainment
For the
purposes
vengeance.
only. So
Yeah.
nothing we say here is the gospel truth. If they are allowed to
learning.
tokenize their product, not sure because of this pronoun, but maybe you know, Alan, what he's referring to, I'm sure they will do it. So they, there, and it.
Well, is he the one that asked the real estate
I
question?
think so. Sorry, Kung Fu. Can you come back next week?
If they're allowed to tokenize their product. Yeah, I think he's talking about real estate. Maybe. Yeah. I'm sure they will. Everything's going to be tokenized, guys. By the
Yeah.
way, it makes way more sense to tokenize everything. And the reason why I say that is because what is it now? What is everything? Well, it's a house, or it's a cup, or it's a hat. Okay. I'm cool with that, but where's its value? How do you trade its value? With dollars. Oh, now we got a problem, because now you're saying this hat. Well, what is the distinction between this hat and the other million hats? Well, it looks like this. Well, it's blue and it has this on it. Oh, that's really vague. Do you see how vague that is? We're going to tokenize this hat, this particular hat. Not every hat that looks like it. This hat. It's describing something down to the T. It's huge.
Nice.
It's really big, guys.
Tokenization.
Yeah.
Oh boy. We're all getting those Lambos.
I'm not a Lambo
And
guy.
yachts.
I'm a
Boats are
I'm a Porsche guy,
waste of cash.
and I'm a truck
I
guy.
agree, Elizabeth.
We've got more questions. So we've got probably another half hour of questions. So you guys can
Let's-
take over from here.
Okay.
And I'm going to get on with my duties.
Okay.
Farming.
Will you
duties.
take
We're
off
gonna
the
limit
comment
this, though.
from the
Yeah.
screen, Elizabeth?
Hour and a half. Okay.
Okay.
You can limit it as you see fit.
Yeah, let's stop somewhere around 2:00 or 2 hours.
It is 2:00.
2 hours.
Okay.
We'll do 20 more minutes.
Let me add. Do you know how to use the starred chats, Brent? Do you see the live chat? And then there's another tab called starred.
Live chat. Oh, yes.
So I've got those outstanding. And then
DWB.
no,
All these
those
are
are not the
outstanding.
these are the
Okay.
right here. So I'll throw this one up, Brent. You
All
just
right.
you just click it and then you hide it.
Let me
And
see if
power-
I can. Let me see if I can click them.
Okay, do it. Let's do it.
I
Okay,
cannot.
Alchemist.
There's a hide and then there's a
I
I
can't, but I can. But I can read them, Elizabeth. So
you
when
can
you go,
read them,
just-
but you can't pop them. If you just click on them, they go up.
I tried.
Oh, okay. I guess you don't have it from that end. That's
I don't
weird.
have the capabilities on my end.
I can do it.
Well,
Snap.
Alan can do, yeah, Alan can do it.
Yeah.
So, Alchemist,
I'm going to star the rest, and then I'm going to put the column here, and then when it runs out, then you just do what you want. Okay.
first of all,
Beefcake.
yeah. First of all, I'd like to just say this to that statement. A lot of people are criminals, and yes, I would agree that they have done some shady business deals, probably. However, I also want to really I want to put this out there without offending too many people and too many channels. There's a channel or 5 that I listen to, and they've gone down this conspiratorial road of they believe that the problem with crypto is those people, and that Ethereum and Vitalik is been given this gift of this greatness that everybody else doesn't get to partake in. I don't see that. I've looked into it. I know I'm conspiratorial as well. And I know the people that are putting this information out have done a ton of homework on it. And yeah, is there corruption? Everywhere. Let's remember, I mean, lipstick and a push-up bra is corruption. Okay. So let's just go with that. Everybody, you have to understand that fighting another and telling everybody who listens to your show to hate or dislike or have a problem to step on those people to get yourself higher is not something I'm in favor of. Okay. I don't play that game. That's cool if you want to. I get it. But to say that someone is a crook and a criminal to further my own financial future is it's low-hanging fruit. And I don't know. I fall victim to it occasionally, but overall, look, those people are doing what they do, and they're not ruining my day because I'm not letting them. Didn't mean to preach, but yeah.
Yeah, totally. And like it, when I think of Ethereum now, Dad, I think of kind of the awe and wonder of learning about Bitcoin. And then I think of the awe and wonder of Ethereum and everything that has been innovated with Ethereum and different ERC20 tokens. And we would have no knowledge of the force if it
Right.
never came along. You know,
Yeah.
like I think now back to that time, if we didn't have Ethereum, if we didn't learn the lessons that we learned from Ethereum,
Yeah.
I think a lot of my favorite projects would not have even existed, maybe,
No, that's right.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And
And
so I just choose to think of it all that way when I hear about these particular people and read
yeah.
stories, and I still
And
have
the
a
other,
great interest in it, but
yeah.
I'm trying to go the like, okay, well, we've moved on in a way,
Right.
but there's still
Yeah.
great functionality and application on the Ethereum blockchain.
There's
Uh,
also this assumption that, oh, well, it's XRP. They walk on water. It's like, well, wait a minute. They're a member of the WEF. Hello.
yeah,
They just told you that they're in bed with, BlackRock now and JP Morgan and all these people, and they're going to be part of this swap thing. And you're like, well, they're perfect. It's those Ethereum people that are the problem. It's like, really, dude, really? That's what you're selling? Okay. I'm cool with that. I mean, if you want to live in that daydream, I'm cool with that. But if you really want to look at the reality of this, all of this is going forward. And that's where I choose to see it. I don't want to pick teams and I don't want to spit on other teams. I simply want to pick a team, like a team, and promote it in a positive manner of going forward. Not going to dismantle the team next to me. I'm going to compete with them and beat them fair and square. That's my angle.
I'm glad we're both similar that way, Dad. I think
Yeah.
that's why
Yeah. And I'm
we
not,
can do such a project together. It's
yeah, because these other, anyway, I don't want to go down that road. I really don't.
no.
Already did. Already
It
did.
was an interesting question, Alchemist. I mean, it brings up an interesting conversation.
Yeah.
And it's something that we've all us like crypto folk have looked at, with a little ire, like what?
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
going on behind those closed doors? What's going on?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. It's funny. Everybody who's on that bandwagon's like, well, have you looked into the people behind Ripple? Oh, well, no, but let's just keep looking at the other team. Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny. What do you got next, Brent? You want me to scroll through these?
Are you able to click on them, Dad, or?
I'm going to click on Sean's here and see what happens.
All right.
TF, BRICS value, revalue currency. That might have been a statement, although it's a question mark. I don't know.
In a nutshell, Dad, if say whoever out there, whatever country we all live in, if the BRICS nation came to our nation, what do you think would be the instant changes? What's the big influence of being guided and under that system?
Well, one of the things that comes to mind is there's a very famous businessman, and he studied or worked in Japan or China for many years. And when he came back to America, he made a simple statement. It's so true. He said, well, in China, they create engineers. They build things and they create business. They're businessmen. Mm-hmm. And they learn that from the West. And the West creates weapons and wars. And they're less about business and less about building roads and things than they used to be. And they seem to be more in the business of espionage or corruption than excelling through business. And when he said it, he was very quite controversial. but it's really played out over the last decade. That's exactly what's happening. So the BRICS nations have basically, we had 100 years and 200 years in Africa, and we did nothing for those people, being the Western countries. Nothing, very little. Okay. And in the last decade, the amount of railroad tracks, water, power plants that they've built, okay, would blow people's minds. But the people in the West don't get to read about it. They don't get to hear about it because you don't get to read that stuff. What Putin, I don't know if any of you guys heard this, but Putin had a speech last week, and essentially he said this: the Rockefeller monetary system is dying, and I hope to be the person who helps kill its corruption and its thievery. I'm ad-libbing this, but it's thievery of the people of this planet. And that's how he looks at it. That's how the BRICS nations look at it. They taught us industry, being the Western world, 100 years ago. And they forgot what got them where they are. And we all want to go back to building better for all the people who have nothing. And are they perfect? No. Are they, in my opinion, better than the current regime that we have? Yeah, I think they mean better for the mankind. It might only be marginal. I don't know. But in my opinion, BRICS does have, at least to begin with, because everybody starts with good intentions, they do believe in the future of mankind. It appears to me. Anyway. And they believe in nationalism, not globalism. Yeah. When you become a BRICS nation member, you're not Russian. They're not trying to get you to be Russian, which is the opposite of what we did for the last 100 years. They're like, oh no, you got to adopt our system. You know, our legal stature, our business strategy. No, you get to stay whatever you are. We're just going to help you build things, and we're going to help prosper from you. Anyway.
Nice. Thank you.
Long-winded, but yeah.
That works.
Let's see.
How much of the global trade market will XTC capture? I know less than my dad does, but from what I've read and seen, I feel like it's connected to half. It has affiliations and relationships and is connected to potentially half of the global trade market. If the talking heads that are out there are right about what they're saying, and we see how connected, ISO 222 makes everything.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dad?
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to get half of the retail sales of the planet, holy smokes, that's massive. That's huge. That's what I understand too. I know there's a lot of people don't want to hear this, but Lightning Network is huge, and you're competing with Lightning Network, and you're behind the eight ball. You are not ahead of the game. You are competing with a established market that has a lot of support by some very altruistic people who want to see a better world, and they've convinced a lot of people that that's the way to get there. You, on the other hand, being XRP, are connected to a globalist situation, period. I mean, I don't know if you guys know this, but IBM is big behind it, that coin. Okay. So, anyway, I just had a big alert come up on this laptop. Okay. Anyway, I've got some sort of scan. Anyway, can you still see me?
Uh-huh. Thanks
All
for
right,
the
good.
question, Elias.
Yeah.
About another one, Pappy.
I've got a big old update going on right here. I'm trying to get rid of. Okay.
I can read them to us, Dad.
Oh, okay, cool. What do we got next?
Try to
Kung
find
Fu.
us some good stuff. It's your old buddy, Kung Fu Tuber. Let's see.
And I think I can get it to come up.
Nice.
What did Kung Fu say? I think I clicked out of it.
Couldn't read it because now it's lost in the
sphere.
It's lost in space somewhere.
Elias, so what? Jim's next?
Mm-hmm. We're sorry, Kung Fu Tuber.
Sorry, yeah.
I don't even know what happened.
Bitcoin is mostly derivatives trading. Yeah.
What's up, Jim?
Yeah, I don't know. You should really look into what's going on there, man. I know there's a lot of people. There's so many YouTubers bagging on Bitcoin right now. I get it, but you don't listen to other people. Do your own homework because they're moving a lot of money. They moved $14 trillion last year, guys.
That's amazing.
14 trillion. And
That's
XRP
amazing.
moved 50 million. I'm just saying those are facts. That's on a blockchain. You can look that up. So, yeah, okay. They're all derivatives. Well, isn't that what we just are so happy about, that XRP became part of the derivatives swap network? And now you're bagging on it? I mean, maybe. But yeah.
I'm still, on one hand too, Dad, like I'm still wrapping my head around the Lightning Network and how it functions and how it's going to function in the future. And it just makes me think of that on Jim's question. What is the cost of doing all these transactions and kind of stacking transactions?
Dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Not as cheap as crypto.
I guess the cost of like speed and security, like when Dad and I are talking about the trilemma right now, it's like, is it still going to be a robust system?
Yes.
If it's running everything, if it's running, $100 trillion a year.
We're cowboys and Indians right now, guys. We're the Wild West, and we don't know who's going to win. It's, it's not going to be a winner take all. It's just not. There's going to be different pockets of the world are going to trade different things. And the BIS might not even exist in 10 years. We don't even know, It's still new. It's so cool.
I'm like my dad. I just appreciate both, Bitcoin and XRP when we talk about the two. You get into either project and it's just a mind blower. So I'm excited to see what will happen with both and how we use them. How many thousands of transactions of Bitcoin are still pending at this very moment? That will not change anytime soon. Thank you, Cody. That's exactly what I was just talking about.
Right.
However, network pending transactions.
That's true. However, one of the things that a lot of people don't understand is it's not always about how fast you get things done. Let's remember, credit card companies don't settle in 30 days most of the time. Just so you know that. Mm-hmm. Lightning Network does not trade instantly. That's true. It does not. Okay. Usually within 24 hours though.
Mhm.
Well, that's 30 times faster than MasterCard.
Yeah.
So,
No, no, not
Yeah.
hating on it at all, Dad. In
Yeah.
my case, like I'm just gonna be curious in the future when it's not $14 trillion worth of transactions in a year, when it's 100 trillion or it's 200
Right.
trillion,
No, that's right.
and 10 times as many people are using it
That's right.
for everyday shit, for my Starbucks in the morning.
Yeah.
Like
But
that's
remember,
what I'm curious about in the 24-hour cycle in the catch up,
yeah.
you know.
Well, like you were talking about earlier. Okay, I don't want to get too deep into this, but okay.
No. No.
When okay, Lightning Network allows, okay, something like Bitcoin to trade, okay, and scale,
Mhm.
right? So it doesn't really matter how slow Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is Bitcoin. It's like, well, gold is really slow. We know how slow it is. Okay. But you can transact electronically with it and settle up later. Right.
Yeah. Oh,
It has to,
totally.
it has to hold its value. Okay. That's the key here, guys. If something
Mhm.
doesn't hold value and stand the test of time of value, then people aren't going to trust it. That's why when you hear new coins coming along, it's like they don't stand a chance. They don't
Mhm.
against even XRP or other networks. It's just not going to work like that because there's too much head start, you know?
Yeah,
Anyway,
there's too many other layer 1s and 2s that have just gone through all
yeah.
the
And remember
bull
Lightning Net,
runs and
like
crashes and cycles and bumps and
remember,
bruises.
and like you were talking about earlier about sharding, right? Like
Mhm.
Lightning Network can shard into 1,000 different networks. It's
Yeah.
running at like 1% of capacity right now.
Yeah,
So
no, I would just as
yeah,
passionately look at it on your side, Dad, and say that's still 30 times faster than MasterCard. And we all trust, MasterCard and Visa and all this to go out
yeah,
and do our everyday life and pay for things. So,
right.
and this is faster. So in your argument, Dad, settling up, not a bad thing.
No,
Sharding,
because
not a bad thing.
yeah, and remember, like when you're settling in 1 second, what happens when something goes wrong, Solana?
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
what happens then? How do you go back and figure it out? Like if you've got 24 hours or something and something glitches on you, you've got time to go, well, wait a minute. Whoa, stop the other million transactions. What's happening here?
Yeah.
Who kicked the plug?
Love
Yeah,
it.
yeah. What's the old analogy? You don't take a Ferrari to Home Depot. You don't, right? Fast is good in some applications.
Right.
Yeah,
That's a great analogy.
right. What else? Most of these people are probably already gone. But anyway, it gives us something to talk about. Hang on, she's got a phone call. Talk amongst yourselves.
Will do. What is up, crew? Thank you all so much for joining us here today. See if I can see how many are in the live. I think I got to be on YouTube to see it. But man, we love and appreciate you guys. So many of the conversations that
They're dropping
we
like
had amongst ourselves and our new member and yeah, we keep talking about the dream. And Dad and I were on the phone talking about yesterday the dream of, being in working and doing this full time is certainly a dream of mine.
yeah,
And just bringing you guys like really fun, really interesting videos and helping my dad continue to bring you guys some really interesting stuff that he always brings us. And so really, really excited to continue down that and meet all of you. You know, we talk about getting the chance to set up a trip, or we all meet up at a seminar, or however we're able to pull it off. But making friends with you, and the one that I will always encourage, when we go to seminars together and when we're all with our crew, Dad, is that they become friends with each other.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's just,
Yeah.
it's trust me, it ain't just about meeting Alan or meeting Brent or Elizabeth. Like, when you're in
No.
a community like this, like what we
Yeah.
want to try to grow in
That-
and with you guys is you're going to find similar people to you,
Yep.
in the chats, in the meetups, and so we want to help grow that to where it's a
Yeah.
real community that you can find people that you know, can identify with even more than us. You know,
Yeah.
Dad and I have made those kinds of friends,
Yep.
at ones that we've been to. So
Yeah.
I
It's
just wanted to speak on that.
this. I just love all this stuff. I mean, this whole social media thing is just so much fun. I've just had a blast with it. I've got to meet so many new people, and it's only growing, and we're having a lot of fun doing it, and we have people that's going to help us grow this channel. So we're going places, guys, and it's going to be fun getting there. It's not like, oh, we're there now. It's like, no, every day and every week there's new stuff in crypto and new stuff in our lives. Like, one of the things that a lot of people don't may take into effect is, or into account, is a lot of crypto channels or YouTube channels are just about crypto or just about XRP. We're about all the cryptos and the success of where it's all going. But the thing that Brent and I, in my opinion, offer all of you is our compassion for a fellow man. And that's really where this channel comes into my wheelhouse. That's what I want. I want all of us to be successful financially, obviously, but I want us, after we're financially successful, to become incredible people together and make change and make a better world, instead of just being a bunch of all those like the rock stars of old, right? They would go to a hotel and just destroy the rooms. We don't want to be known as the destroyed the town. All those crypto people came to town and ruined everything.
Yeah.
We want to be good people in our
Like,
graciousness.
oh man, should we clean up? Like, no, screw it. We'll move to another floor.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we got this. We got plenty of money.
You're just
We'll do
half in
whatever
the
we
bag,
want.
sitting on the deck of your yacht. Like, all right, cast off.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
No, I'm with you, Dad, as always, man. We've talked about it. Like, my dad's been my best friend in my life. The guy I could talk to about anything. I think that's what a best friend
Likewise.
is.
Yeah.
And that we get to do this together, and we both share that quality. Like, we've recognized in each other. It's like we want to be good people, and we want to encourage other people to be good people. Just the version of yourself that you feel like is strong and happy. And we don't have crystal balls. Like, we don't know what the future and the prices will be. But we're trying to study the trends, and we're trying to put our finger on the pulse of what could potentially be, life-changing for all of us. And that is a really fun way to attack it and to start a channel, as much as Dad and I'd probably like to talk about all the other things of life, and we do, to ensure our financial survival as people, as we, as the little people,
Yes,
in the future, and give ourselves, and for Dad, like his child, and for people my age, their children, an opportunity at wealth. It's something I look into all the time now, and I hope that whatever it is, it finds you. I
Yep.
really I wish that.
And it will.
Yeah.
It certainly will. I was going to answer the Jim Rickards question, but I'm really not. No, I'm not doing it. But save it for next time.
Nice.
Okay,
Thank you,
guys.
Elias.
So with that, we will see you next Sunday for sure live. And tomorrow night, I think Elizabeth and I are going to do I think that's probably going to be on Patreon, but we're going to do what's going on with Coinbase and what's happening with them legally and what she's discovered and some of the questions that you guys have had about that. That'll be tomorrow night's show. And
Nice.
Tuesday night, Brent and I are going to do a live stream. Are we going to do live or are we going to record that? We'll probably record
Let's
that.
record that.
Okay.
And pick some high-end action. I'm in the middle of writing this article. I really want to share it with you, Dad. So
cool. Yeah.
Maybe build it on the YouTube, and then I'll post it at some point here on the Patreon. And
yeah. And I have an upcoming show about the ISDA stuff that I'm going to cover this week. And that's going to be fun because I have a really interesting take or angle that maybe many of you haven't thought of. And maybe it'll trigger a light bulb or two. Okay. All right, Brent. So with that, I believe we are out. See you guys.